Happy anniversary, Brian. 50 shows, 1 year. What an accomplishment.
Cheers.
Cheers. Man, it is wild. People, I feel like there's probably people watching this who have now found this show from Top Shot and stuff. But I mean, what the origins of this podcast, I mean, it even predated coronavirus because you reached out to me and I was like, hey, I'm going on a trip to Japan. I really don't know. I kind of want to take a little bit of a break. And I wasn't sure. And then I was like, I canceled my trip. And I was like, fuck it, let's do this podcast.
Did you cancel because of coronavirus?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, did you cancel because of Lolz? And I was going to say, yeah, of course. Yeah, we did. Because our trip, we were going to take off like March, literally like around the day we kicked off Lolz, like March 12th or 13th, I think was our takeoff. And then we canceled it like 2 weeks before because Japan was kind of one of the early epicenters of it. And the writing was on the wall that it wasn't going to be too good of a time with everything closed down.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I was thinking back when I like DM'd you or whatever, you had less than 10,000 Twitter followers, like our first communication. Now, are you over 20?
Yeah, and you're lucky you got that in because once I was past 10K, like I was not going to accept your DM for sure.
That's why I sent it. Yeah, got to get in early.
That's right. So excited for you guys to tune in tonight. This is going to be a very self-indulgent show. We have prepared some clips from the past year. Going to do a little stroll down memory lane. I will tease a couple things that'll be fun. One, there was an episode we deleted. I don't think Brian cared. I was just like in a weird headspace after, and I was like, I want to delete this episode. I have excavated some lost clips from that I think you guys will very much enjoy. And then on top of it, I think Brian and I were feeling a little generous. We might even do a Top Shot giveaway at the end. We didn't want to publicize it. We didn't want all the Top Shot fly-by-night, guys to come. We wanted it to be just for you guys who are here watching the show. So we'll tee up that at the end. Anything else here to set the table for this show, Brian?
No, I'm not even sure what order you're going in. We'll see as we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we have to start at the very first episode, which if you guys saw my tweet, we started this show literally the night that Rudy Gobert shut down the NBA. And not only that moment occurred live on this show. So I got this up here. Brian, could you hear that audio?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can stop and start as we need, but this is a 2-minute clip from that first ever show a year ago.
So Illinois, I think they took the first legal sports bet like today or this weekend or something.
All right, Brian, actually hate to cut you off. Breaking news here. Jazz Thunder has been delayed Wednesday and teams have been sent to locker rooms. Like, I don't even know what that means.
Oh, wow. This is... Huh.
I mean, is this coronavirus related?
Do you think?
I have.
Are they going to make the? Are they going to make the fans leave the stadium or something?
The beat writer for the Thunder, Royce Young, he thinks the game might have just been called.
Holy shit!
That is wild.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part right here, Brian, because this is the first place your brain goes to after this news that we didn't realize was going to basically change our lives for the next year.
I don't even know. I mean,
Oklahoma, he's verified.
Yeah.
He only has 400 followers and he's verified. The game was postponed. He works for Channel 3 in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Shane's loving our live reaction here. How much Thunder and Jazz did you have?
I'm assuming quite a bit. Let's see here. Okay, so the Jazz had Tony Bradley. Okay, I actually was under with the Boban. I'm guessing. Let's see what Bradley was owned at. This is not what I pictured.
Brian was like, the world is crumbling in front of us. He's like, let's just hold up a mirror to ourselves as we watch it unfold. Oh, we got Sal Vetri in the chat. What's up, Sal?
Hey.
Sal, we're just someone.
So there it is. The Genesis clip from Lolz. That was from 12 minutes into our first episode, Brian.
That was crazy. You know who won that night in NBA DFS?
Who was it?
Awesome, I think.
Okay. Well, Ryan just asked, I know that they did refund entries because Brian and I had talked, we're going to do a DFS show. I hadn't played any NBA DFS at the time. It was our first show. And I was like, you know what? We're going to be doing the show, maybe sweating some stuff real time. I'll throw some lineups in. And I think I even did a tweet like, my first night, I'm going to become an NBA thought leader. And literally, 2 hours in, all the games were canceled. And I was like, that was a short-lived stint into the world of NBA DFS.
I think they actually ended up playing one of the night ones. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Well, it might. The thing I would like, I don't know if anyone knows this, because one of my favorite, here we go, Top Shot clips is the Vince Carter 3 from that same night, where they knew that the league was shutting down when that moment happened, and get the assist to Vince for the final 3. That might have happened after the Rudy Gobert moment.
Yeah, or during, like about the same time, because they kept playing the early games and they finished them. That was, some games were played, some games weren't. I lost, but they did refund. They've been doing that a lot past year. Yeah.
What was when you kind of just thought about wanting to do a podcast and reaching out to me, was basically what this podcast has become? Is that kind of what you were hoping for, or is it completely different than what you were thinking?
No, that is that I wanted to just do like a podcast, just like a normal podcast where two people talk. But I assumed that it would be gambling. I wanted more like gambling centric, not just DFS.
Yeah.
So pretty darn similar to what I kind of thought about. But when we first started too, like people, I don't know, I think they wanted them. What were we supposed to do? The sports were canceled. You know what I mean? So we kind of just winged it.
Right. I don't think anyone expected stuff of us early, although there were obviously a lot of people who were familiar with your username and your resume in DFS. And I think they would sometimes come to this show thinking you were just going to give away every single one of your DFS secrets and nuggets. And we had to kind of, I think, retrain people that, yes, we do want to talk about that stuff, but the goal of this show is not DFS strategy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we've done that like at least 2 or 3 times, because then we had League of Legends when normal sports came back. Those guys got mad at us a little bit. They're like, why aren't you talking about League of Legends?
Yeah. I mean, didn't we have one time where we put in the title that we're going to do like Korean baseball DFS, and then a couple people were actually upset that we didn't give any.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We actually ended up not talking about it.
Yeah. For a while too, we had a stretch where we became kind of like a DFS gossip rag, where it was like there weren't a lot, like most DFS gossip just takes place on Twitter. And we kind of became the one of the clearinghouses for it in video form.
And I'm fine talking about any gossip in DFS or gambling. There just hasn't been much the past month or so, has there?
I mean, I can't. I feel like even today, like reading NFL news, I'm like, I feel like I'm so out of this world right now. Even I saw Alex did a poll, I think, on Twitter the other day. I actually wanted to get your thoughts on this. He was saying, like the hype on Top Shot's real. Like, what are you more I think it was excited or enthused about, Top Shot or DFS? And I didn't circle back on the poll, but I think like 300 votes in, it was Top Shot by a landslide. And I was reading a lot of the comments, and there was this kind of, I I think from common or more average players, this kind of dejected thing, like at least I can make money on Top Shot, was a sentiment I saw on there where people felt like it's too hard for me to win at DFS. And so Top Shot's has been this exciting thing where the market's been going up and people feel like they're making money. What are your thoughts about that, of how people feel about DFS right now?
It does seem like the interest is a little lower, but the tournament sizes are about the same. The MMA this last weekend like filled up way early. And the MMA is bigger now than it was before, before coronavirus.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get 100K every weekend, definitely. But I mean, it seems like the Twitter chatter, there's definitely less interest, but based on the entries, everyone's still gambling. So
that's really interesting. And maybe that's just reflective of, dare I say, our bubble, like on Twitter, where people are still getting their action down, but it's just like, what's fun to talk about on Twitter? There's not much fun. There probably is the same amount of stuff to talk about as there ever is. It's just there's distractions in other directions.
And also I don't know if it seems like the market on Top Shot's going down, but to be able to just spend $9 and make 1,500 in 5 seconds, like who wouldn't be enthusiastic about that? It's not going to last forever. I would imagine, but
yeah.
What do you like better? Trying to compete against all these guys in DFS or gambling $9 to win 1,500? It's like, I would rather have the 1,500 too. I'd rather be more excited about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but let's ask that question a few months from now, and see.
So let's give Joe's here. I'm here for the League of Legends DFS memories. I'm going to pull up my favorite memory. This was a little further along. We can circle back to some old, but this is one of the clips I have here. It's actually, Brian and I did a clip show also back into early into coronavirus, where I think we did the top 10 Lolz moments of, what was the premise of it? Was it of the summer, or do you remember what that was? Our top 10 countdown?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't even remember, but it was still early on because who was our buddy that was producing the show for us then?
Why can't I think of his name?
I know, I feel bad. But this was before we migrated over to my StreamYard. You can even see my busted LED light setup here. This was early on, but we had already done a bit. Oh, Brian, maybe it was top 10 moments in Lolz history and we were like 6 episodes in.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
So here we go. This is remembering the number 1 moment in Lolz history. It is now time for the number 1 moment. This is voted on by you, the fans. I couldn't believe this. You guys came out in droves. You said this has to be. Narrator, we didn't put this up for any votes. The number 1 moment in DFS in the coronavirus era. And ladies and gentlemen, that is, in fact, Cloud9's very own Stixay confirming to our generation's Kenzie. Peter Overzet. How many people do you think even watching this right now even know who Kenzie is?
Kenzie is under 10%.
If you get, Kenzie was the Adam Schefter of League of Legends reporting, where at least with the LPL, he was the one covering it, giving you the lineups generally ahead of time. But this was the LCS. I'm still dusting it off.
LCK.
LCK. And the reporting was pretty shoddy.
Yeah. The LPL and LCK, I think, was his beat.
Here we go. That he was in fact starting on March 28th, despite the lack of publicized starting lineups. Brian, do you remember where you were during that moment?
I was in this chair, as I always am.
And how grateful were you for just kind of my dogged reporting?
That was hilarious and grateful, and we used it. Actionable. I think, I sent you a DM like, oh my God. He responded to you. Can you imagine, like, any DFS personality, tout, player, whatever, got like a scoop on a player not playing or playing directly to them?
Oh man. And the thing is my hit rate ended up being pretty good. I went 1 for 2. I tried it again with the whole FlyQuest, the solo Viper situation. Those words sound so funny. But Stixay coming in big in the clutch. And maybe let me see if I can do a little research here because I wanted to point out one of the faves in here. This is going to be, I think, for you, Dave, here. This is pretty good. Basically, what I'm trying to find, and whether I can't find it or not, Stixay's mother. There it is. Stixay's mom liked my tweet. I mean, if that isn't the number one moment of DFS coronavirus, Deanna Cantino favoriting the 83rd ranked sports DFS player in the world's tweet. I mean,
I forgot about that bit. Look at her line, trolling an ADC and team.
Love it. Wait, Brian, did you just say bit?
You were ranked the 83rd. Yes, you were.
Yeah, people forget. I had a stretch there where I was going ham at League of Legends. I was actually just reminiscing with Lauren this morning, and she was like, we were talking about, because we were doing the show, and she was like, yeah, I remember you waking up in the morning and being like, I just won $3,000 playing League of Legends DFS at like 8 a.m. And I have such like, all of my early coronavirus memories are mostly tied to like talking with you and playing League of Legends DFS, where I'd be like up at night working on my lineups, like late, like smoking a bowl, getting my spreadsheets going, and then setting my alarm at 7:30 to sweat like the final legs of these matches.
Yeah, that the first month of that was pretty fun, wasn't it?
It was a blast.
Yeah, I gotta say too, like the way you were talking about Fly Quest and everything. It sounded like you knew what you were talking about. You should use that as like a resume piece, where if it's a different industry, like ESPN wants to hire you for the X Games or something. Like, look I get just bullshit about anything, clearly.
You could make a supercut of me talking with supreme confidence about things I know so little about, just like a master cut of that. But it was the fun time. I mean, those first 2 weeks before kind of the public realized the power and the correlations with just stacking, just rolling out those 4-3 stacks, it was a print fest, a total print fest, because I knew I had never won at DFS before, and I was winning like 3 out of every 4 nights. And I was like, this is too good to be true.
Yeah. I would send you like little charts and stuff of which eventually turned into charts of the spreads and the line movement, because we thought there was so much cheating going on. Yeah. But in the beginning, I would send you like those correlation charts, and it's like, dude, they're almost perfectly correlated the players to each other.
Wasn't the R like at 0.92 on it?
Yeah, it was like, depends on the player, but yeah, they were like in the 0.9s.
I remember you telling me like quarterback to wide receiver correlation was like what, like 0.3?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
So this was like 3 times stronger.
Yeah, it's like 3 times stronger. It's like there's no way you cannot correlate.
Yeah.
And then quickly everyone realized that, but then they were putting team and captain.
Yeah.
Remember that?
The optimals were always putting team and captain.
That lasted like a week or two. And then after that, petty theft just won all the money.
That was the other thing. Yeah, because I had taken a little break from League of Legends, and then they had the League of Legends online final, and I was like, I got to get back in this for one last bit, and punted it off to petty theft, who took that down.
What an amazing win for him, because there's so many dupes in League of Legends too. To not dupe, to solo it, ship it, so you get that Tournament of Champions invite, and then win the winner for winner take all Tournament of Champions for $1 million. Oh my god!
You know what? And that reminded me. This is a beautiful segue into this other clip, which dupes became a big, I would say, conversation point of Lolz and of this show. And also it became, I think this clip is representative of the show, which is us kind of like trying to spitball ideas often on how to make DFS or sports gambling better. And this was one of Brian's better ideas.
This is going to be a horrible. What do you think about this? I just thought of this. This is going to be a horrible idea, but whatever, I'm going to say it. What if they added this in these dupey sports like showdowns and such? MMA, NASCAR even dupes a decent amount. What if they added a randomness to the people who tie, and they randomly get selected in order? So let's say you tie for 10th, right?
Yeah.
You know, the RAND function in Excel equals RND, right? And it just makes a number in between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
So it just assigns everyone gets assigned a random number. And then you sort. So there's 10 people who get tied for first. So guess what? Now there's another gamble on top of it, and like this guy's gonna be first.
Oh my God. First of all, I don't mind it. And people like you and Asimo and have the mental fortitude to probably withstand that tilt. But can you imagine like a solo lineup or hand building person tilting the randomizer tiebreaker? I mean, it would be out of control.
It would be, it would probably be a disaster for their publicist. But for example, the slate today, I won. Every single one of us, it would be GTO to take the random option because at least some of us are going to make a profit as opposed to all of us losing.
John Williams is already tilted in the chat. Terrible idea. I see that in the screenshot of the chat there. Terrible idea.
What the fuck? There's some context there, but like there was so many dupes in League of Legends. I don't know if it happens anymore because there's just so many people playing it because that was all there is to play. That you would take first and still lose because you would the rake. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, you just do random then. Let somebody win. Who cares if it's not me? Like, why everyone lose? It's it's a pretty horrible idea, but I said that before.
I loved it too because it was this idea that you're this, weathered veteran DFS player who has played so many slates that you're not like emotionally invested in some of the more random things. So you're like, yeah, just let it rip because I know over the long term I will win some of those flips. But for the person just playing one lineup, they would lose their goddamn mind.
Yeah, because the person playing one lineup would actually win money because he didn't max enter it.
Yeah. Preeti, I believe Preeti is from the Top Shot world. We are reminiscing. We are 1 year into our podcast. It launched the name Lolz. We launched it we named it that first show we did. I don't think we had named the show yet, right?
We had.
Yeah. So we
named it live stream with Peter Overzet.
Yeah. Live stream with Peter Overzet. And then it must have been the second week we started doing League of Legends, and I kind of liked the double meaning there for League of Legends and laugh out louds, and we liked the ambiguity of it. And so over the year, I'd say we've done League of Legends, we've done sports betting, we did lots of NFL, some Top Shot more recently. Any other big tentpole events in there?
PGA.
Actually, I wasn't fishing to set up this next clip, but it did work out. I think we need to. We need a little backstory for this, but let's talk about Noah Hoffman, Brian.
Okay. All right. Really quick, Carlos says in my chat, this show is started to combat toxicity.
Oh, that's true. I completely forgot that.
That was right in the beginning. I don't know if that was the first week or.
So, yeah, the background on that and in the logo, let me see if I'm going to just do a different. See the logo up in the top right. That is a toxicity symbol that we are canceling out because one of my first experiences when I started to do my League of Legends thought leader bit is a lot of the OGs in the League of Legends community were not about that. And they thought I was a Johnny come lately, a poser, and they got really mad at me. And I had a battle with a guy on Twitter. I can't remember his name now. And I started calling out the toxicity in the community, and then we made it our rallying cry here.
See, what I remember was you just used it as a bit one day. Like there's so much toxicity in this industry. and then you like Googled it the next day and then it actually was like you had no idea about Gamergate or whatever and all this other stuff. And so you're like, I'm pretty sure you sent me down. You're like, there actually is toxicity in here. Yeah. This is perfect.
Like most of my bits, it starts as a joke and then becomes very real. So yeah, that was the toxicity. And then we got a little bit, it was Outlaw DFS Golf, right?
Yes. Outlaw Golf. So it was like in Arizona, they didn't have as many restrictions. And so this little minor league tour was still playing, and DraftKings just like, all right, we can gamble on this. Let's do it.
And I don't even remember, what is the origin of Noah Hoffman? Oh, he didn't show up to an event, right?
Yes, he didn't show up. He didn't show up, and he was like high owned.
Yes. And so the DFS community, he was persona non grata. And then oh my God, I'm just remembering this all now. His buddy interviewed him in their like 2-bedroom Arizona apartment. And they got like beers out, and he was asking him questions, and he had to do a press conference for the disgruntled DFS community.
I was like, his buddy was like, we got to get on top of this. Let me interview you. We can control the story, the framing. They had Miller Lite cans. Yeah.
They had the Miller Lite cans. So then this was something that came out of the Noah Hoffman thing. I don't think I need to set this clip up further, but here we go. Let me get Noah Hoffman from the early Lolz days.
I mean, trust me, as someone who does incredibly niche stuff, I mean, what goes through your head when you're on Gmail and you're creating the new username and you go,
okay, here we go. So you could see in the chat here, someone's YouTube name in the chat is Noah Hoffman. And I think initially we're like, could this actually be Noah Hoffman? And this was me marveling at someone's commitment to a very, very obscure bit.
The guy I'm going to parody is Noah Hoffman from the Outlaw Golf Tour. Like, what sick, perverted fuck gets to that point?
There's like 12 people who are going to get this fucking joke. And we're 2 of them.
I respect it.
I like it. I love it.
I really respect it.
But what? Speaking of outworking people, not only did he do Gmail, a YouTube, but he did a Twitter one too. It's got to be the same guy, Noah Hoffman tracker account tracking if Noah Hoffman's going to play.
Yeah, we tip our cap to you.
Wow, the Noah Hoffman tracker account. This is it was so good.
We never found out who that was either, right?
No, it was either like his buddy, like the guy who did the interview, or someone from the DFS community doing a joke.
I think it was someone from DFS community because he was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Right? Like he would do little bits. And then eventually like Noah Hoffman contacted that Twitter account and he started actually getting updates from Noah Hoffman's family. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Did he ever have a redemption arc? Did he ever have a good round when he was popular in DFS?
Yeah, I think so, but I think it was too late. Like I think that no, I don't mean like people would never forgive him. I mean like the size of the tournaments were going down, and because golf was one of the earlier ones to come back.
Yeah. And some people in the chat also remembering one. So it's 2 other good memories here. CSGO, my only experience, what was it? The delayed scoring. What was that called?
Oh my God. Oh yeah. What was that called? That was hilarious.
Where
the delayed, it was why can't I think of it? Because they don't do it anymore, right?
No, someone in the chat will help us out with it. But wasn't it like, I remember Drewby, our friend Drewby, didn't he win or he was leading one of the first tournament, and it was like 8 hours later he found out he didn't win when they changed the scoring?
Right. Yeah. It was something adjustment.
Yes, it was like game level adjust or something. Yeah. Someone in the chat has to help us.
Yeah. But either way, it would take them hours to update their scoring. It was so boring. Yeah, so we had like a whole day or 2 of just Counter-Strike Go tweets, and then it was so bad they did change it.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I didn't get into the CSGO, but then a deep threat here reminds us of with eNASCAR having to fade the bad internet connections. You had the Bubba Wallace getting canceled, and these were dudes just legit dead ass playing like a video game in their homes. But from a DFS perspective, I would say second to the early weeks of League of Legends, probably the biggest edge you'll see in DFS. Would you agree with that?
Probably more than League of Legends, maybe not the first couple weeks of League of Legends, but yeah, definitely up there. Who was the guy who had his daughter unplugged his monitor?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Remember that? I had a lot of that guy that week.
Explain to people why there was the edge with that because it had to do with the starting positions getting shuffled up right before the race, right?
Yeah. So they had like a pre-race to determine like what order the racers would start in. So like if you were around like I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes before lock, you could find out what the order was, and that's the placement differential is one of the biggest parts of DFS, NASCAR DFS, and just you and only a few other people were switching that over. So like 95% of the lineups were not dead, but like big dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was you were running your own projections, and Osimo was the only person I knew who was updating his, but it was legit like 15 minutes ahead of time. And so
if that,
I mean, I had to move quick. But man, you were getting it in good. And I remember everyone was like, I don't like sweating NASCAR. This is awful. But from like an EV standpoint, I was like, I hope this never ends because this is awesome.
Right. Yeah. And they were like 100,000 the first tournaments. It was insane for a video game. And, in like Alex, they were updating theirs, but like it was kind of tough to tell, like because it's basically just like you're watching some like video game. So like you were really trying to figure out like for sure what order it is, and like because he would have to update his a couple times too. He was like, oh no, actually this guy's and so like it mattered. And like some of the guys, the best racers too were like garbage racers in real life. It was all backwards.
And I remember Stevie from Roto Grinders, he would do a live show as that was happening. So he was trying to like do the broadcasting version of giving everyone the updates and kind of his thoughts on who he thought were now the better plays. But it was just a total free for all. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up another clip here. We don't traditionally do a ton of guests. I think it's more just kind of out of laziness that we don't book a lot of guests, or do we just like hearing ourselves talk?
Probably a combination of two. Lazy and egomaniacs.
But this one of the guys who became kind of a cult figure, probably our favorite guest here is RBX88, who, if you don't know, has won now. Is it 3 Millie Makers, Brian?
Yeah, 3.
3 Millie Makers, and basically, my favorite part of the whole RBX stuff is Brian going from just being like, I can't believe this fucker keeps winning Millie Makers and I haven't won one, to now RBX88 is in Brian's Discord and I swear they're going to be best men at each other's weddings. So this is a clip from, I believe, the first time we had him on the show after he won $1 million. He ended up coming on again after he won $1 million, and now he knows the deal. He like on Instagram, he's like, I can't come on until I win another milli, right? I'm like, yep. So he gets it. But this was a fun moment from the first RBX88 interview when we didn't know much about him at all.
Question is, did you steal that clock in your background from my high school algebra class?
I got that clock from Walmart for like $5, like when I moved into here.
I feel like I'm just waiting for class to get over so I can go smoke in the parking lot or something.
Brian's just excited to have someone on the show with a more mundane background than his, you know. So
Yeah.
It sounds like our background is pretty similar. I played poker for a living for a while till Black Friday. I'm surprised you stuck with it.
Well, in New Jersey, WSOP and Borgata Online is legal here, so there's like a ton of games always.
Okay.
So this is my favorite part here. This is where Brian now is just like, he's like, he you could see the look in his eyes, like, I need to know, how does the sausage gets made? How is this guy winning this stuff? And so Brian just goes in right for it.
I'm looking at your June 6th MMA lineups and in Cruncher. I'm sorry, in lineup study. Do you go? How do you handle dupes in MMA? Do you do anything about it?
To be honest, I really don't. I really haven't done MMA or really golf that much. I didn't realize that I had. I didn't realize the lineup study until not too long ago. So then I was realizing that I had dupes in like my golf and stuff, and I know how to prevent that.
First question is,
oh my God, I love that.
I ask more questions like that later on too. Actually, I think.
Yeah, because you're trying to figure out like how lucky are you? That was basically what you were hinting at.
That's exactly what I was doing. Either that or like how like what's your process here, guy? Let me get some info off you.
And now, I mean, he's a regular, right? In your Discord.
Yeah, he's in there. I don't think he's playing poker much more lately anymore.
Yeah. What else? Wait, we were going to book him for tonight's show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had talked about maybe trying to get a bunch of guests on and doing a little thing, but I think we ended up thinking the clip show would be fun, but we'll do another hang with our pals again.
Yeah, he had a girl coming over tonight anyways, he told me. So
yeah, I love RVX88's logic. It's like, I'm having a girl come over tonight and I'll just tell her I'll take a 15-minute break to hop on the Lolz pod. That's how bad he wants to get back on.
I told her just bang her on screen.
Jesus, I knew even in a clip show you wanted to get us canceled.
He loved it. Trust me, that's right. I know his sense of humor.
That's the kind of toxic humor that flies in your Discord. Well, I feel like this is a good time to set up. I have one more clip after this, but these clips come from the lost tapes of Lolz. So basically, if you look at our number of episodes, we've done 50 episodes. We've missed 2 weeks, one last week I was on vacation and one some other time. And then we had one other episode, a bonus episode we did on the weekend for an MMA live hang. And this was a marathon live hang, went almost 4 hours. And our pal Chris Randone ended up hopping on for, what would you say? Was it like the last 2.5 hours?
Yeah, I think it went 5 hours and he was on there for like 3 of them. Yeah.
And I still can't remember why. I think I was in a very weird headspace after that marathon thing. Lots of weird stuff was said. And I just was like, I'm deleting this. I just don't want this up on the internet. But I saved the file, Brian. And did you go back because you gave me some timestamps. Did you watch the entire second half?
No, I kind of was like fast forwarding through some of the boring parts. And
yeah.
And like when we were talking about the MMA fights, it's like that's not going to matter anymore. Anyways, we did 3 of those, by the way. It's funny, like we've done like every single sport in some way, and so he was on there for like about 3 hours, and I think at the end he was saying like just open the country up, and like you weren't comfortable with that. I think that was like the main thing.
Yeah, there were a lot of things. And this is also a bittersweet clip because back then, I mean, Randone and I were tight enough that he would hop on my show and now I'm blocked on Twitter.
Yep.
So
you're still blocked?
I'm still blocked. I don't actively check, but I do a lot of times see threads. I believe he's into Top Shot because he'll be like replying to stuff about Top Shot and it'll say, you can't view this tweet. I'm like, what? Because I'm honestly blocked by very few people. Not that I need to brag about that, but when I see that I can't view a tweet, I'm like, this is probably Randone. So I compiled a couple of the clips here. I figure we could see some. This is the only place you're going to get to see this. It does not exist anywhere else on the internet.
I got a question for Chris.
Okay.
Your new book, Chris, which I'm going to put in our comment section for.
There's no way you ended up putting that in the section, did you? In the show notes?
In the chat. I put his book.
Okay, you linked to it. Okay.
I did. Check out the title. Transforma. Look at Alex. That face. Last. How would you pronounce
Alex's face? Oh my god. Hang on, I got to go back to the setup.
What is that last? How would you pronounce the last 4 letters?
So the title is Transformation.
Okay.
So it's broken down into how it's broken down to like the syllabus of it. So basically, if you look at it from an evolution perspective, transformation, there's like different parts of it. There's 4 different parts. So it's basically like the evolution of you, and there's 4 phases in the workbook. So it kind of the synergy goes there together.
Wow. Have you read the book?
Are you trying to get me blocked?
What? I mean, you were just asking a journalistic question.
I never picked it up. No. Did you?
I didn't. I was really close. And I'll say this, Chris, if you unblock me from Twitter and promise not to block me, I'll buy your book. All right.
You were. I watched a decent amount of that. You were trolling him a little bit. I think.
Maybe just a little bit.
Just a little.
We might see some of that here. Let's keep this rolling.
So here's a crazy thing. My mom is a huge Tommy G fan. My mom called me and she said, "Listen, you got to follow this guy on Twitter." I said, "Who?" She goes, "He goes by the name of Tommy G."
I just wanted to put that little clip on there. You flagged that one, which I'm just like, Randone's mom being into Tommy G is just the most perfect thing I've ever heard.
That is pretty awesome, though.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll move on here. She might get a little upset that I'm streaming too much, but once she hears that I did a show with Chris Randone from The Bachelor, I think she's going to be pretty excited for me, Chris.
Oh my God.
She has seen your season of The Bachelor, Chris.
I mean, a high percentage of the women in this country have.
that line kills me. Like I'm trying to say, like, yeah, like you're so famous, my wife knows. And he's just like, yeah, basically every woman in America knows who I am.
In his defense, how can he trust anything you say, though? He knows you're trolling him.
Wow, you're on Randone's side. Why did you block me, Brad?
The whole thing, I was trying to be too.
All right, here we go.
For sure.
Do you want to say sup to my wife right now, Chris?
Yeah, I'll say what's up to her.
All right, cool. I'll pass this on. I'll clip it and I'll text it to her. I wasn't lying. I didn't do it right away. But today I showed Lauren. I finally said, I forgot to tell you, Chris Randone says sup.
He did. And then he says her name right after that too. I goes,
yeah.
What's up?
I think I was reluctant to give it, and then I gave it up because it's Chris Randone. Now this last part is just the one single bit here. The realize.
Before you go there,
yeah,
I thought it was funny in the last one that your wife was already upset about the amount of streaming you were doing.
Oh God, yeah.
Boy, did she not know it was coming.
Because this must have been.
This wasn't that bad at all. This was like
June or July, right?
Yeah, probably. You were probably streaming like 1-2 days a week at that point, maybe 3.
Yeah, probably 2 days a week at that point. Because then, NFL craziness hadn't even started. It was right. Basically my Wednesday shows. We were doing Swolecast, Ship Chasing, and Lolz. So I had like 1 day of streaming a week. Okay, so this is if you need a little background, Chris would often tweet the same tweet on Twitter, which is real eyes, like eyes, which all of this is going to get described. Realize, like, hey, do you realize? Real lies as in non-truths. So this is something he would regularly tweet. And we did a DD, a deep dive on what this meant.
Real lies.
Oh, sorry, what?
Was it deep dive or due diligence? I still can't remember.
Oh, that's
deep dive. I think you maybe you're right.
Deep dive, yeah.
Real lies. Real lies. Real lies. Real lies. Real lies. So your real eyes, real lies, real lies.
Pride gets up.
Hang on. Can you? Real? What are? Can you say it again?
Yo, listen. People get so. I tweet it once a month, right? And the only reason why I do it is because so many people get upset that I tweet it.
Someone had like 5 guys, large fries.
Yeah, then you got like live, laugh, love, all that shit. But so your real eyes. Real lies, like you.
Hang on, I do understand all of them by themselves. I guess I just don't understand them in conjunction. So let's break this down. These are my real eyes; they're not my fake eyes.
Oh, shit.
What am I realizing after that?
Your real eyes are real lies, real lies.
That was a good laugh. That was a good laugh.
Okay, I understand real eyes. They're not fake eyes, they're real eyes. What am I realizing
Real lies.
So with my real eyes, I'm realizing that there are real lies.
Yes.
But why do they have to be? So normally you don't have to qualify eyes or lies as real, right? It's just like they're eyes, and then you realize that they're lies. What's the difference between real eyes and fake eyes? Why do you have to say real eyes?
Real eyes, real eyes, real eyes.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. What are the fake eyes in this scenario?
Yeah, it's just you're not understanding it.
You're just not understanding it.
That was pretty late into the night.
It was really late into the night. Hey, Lou, that was it was a bro outfit, but that's just summer outfit, man. Why do you think I'm not drinking as much these days? I got to get back into where I can wear tank tops on streams, man. Yeah, that stream was wild. It was absolutely wild. It made me rethink a lot of things in my life.
That was the K-Tov days.
Yeah, seriously. All right. So one thing I guess we can do this really quickly here. So Brian, why don't you explain a little giveaway, something we wanted to do for the Lolz people hanging out with us tonight, and maybe we'll have to do the actual gifting part next week, but I can get the form going for the people tonight. What do you think about that?
Okay, yeah, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were gonna just do a little pick a top shot, and we'll buy it for you.
Yeah. So Brian and I were each thinking we have a little bit of money in our Dapper balance. We thought we'd each put up a $50 budget. So we're going to draw 2 winners. And next week on the show, or maybe we could even just turn this around quickly. I'm going to put the Google Doc in the chat now. It's literally just going to ask for your Top Shot username. Please don't do dupes. We're just trying to be nice here. And then we will draw 2 winners. And yeah, we'll let you pick out a Top Shot moment for $50. We'll buy for you and we'll gift it. The only thing is there's now the rule, right, Brian, where you can't gift for 7 days. So it will be a delayed thing.
After you buy, you can't gift for 7 days. I didn't know
that. Yeah. I'm still just figuring out if how to do my Google form. Here we go. This should work, guys. This Google form in the chat, just posted it. If you're listening back to this on audio or you're listening to this delayed, don't bother doing this. This is just for the people watching live right now. Fill out that Google form. It's literally just asking for your Top Shot username. I just posted it in the chat. And yeah, we'll let these come in here for a few minutes, and then we'll do a quick drawing.
I'm going to enter my name in too.
Yeah.
And then I could win yours. Right?
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Let's see here. Yeah, we have 96 people watching. We're up to 39 responses. We'll see how many people have Top Shot accounts here.
Where did you get this? How did you do this giveaway thing?
So I just did basically what I've been doing is doing a Google form because I like doing it for the people that are actually watching it. Because some of our early giveaways, you just have a bunch of randos from Twitter coming by, then not watching the show, which is kind of not in the spirit of the show.
I didn't know this Google Forms was a thing.
Oh, you've never done a Google form?
No.
I hustle for DFS. There's no question. There's no, you don't have to do anything. We're just literally, you put in your username. We're going to draw 2 names, and those 2 people get a $50 Top Shots shopping spree compliment of Brian and I.
Have gift cards on there? I'm assuming eventually they will.
They should. That's going to be a popular gift option.
I mentioned this before. I want to ask your opinion on it. Have they ever talked about allowing people to take their NFTs and put them on their own wallet? Have they talked about that yet? Going off chain with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I know they want that to be a thing.
I would assume so. So what about this strategy? So you buy, I think I said this already, but you buy all the Sam Merrills, right?
Yeah.
Based on Sam Merrills. And then you do like that Pranksy bit that those guys did with they bought a Pranksy picture and then they recorded themselves burning it. and made an NFT of the original and sold it for like 300 grand, why not put like 99% of the Sam Merrills on a flash drive and then record yourself burning the flash drive, and now there's only one Sam Merrill.
Right. Effectively raising the floor yourself.
Yeah, making it more unique.
Yeah.
So there'd be only one Sam. So you buy 10,000 in the base set, or let's just say there's 1,000 of Sam Merrills in one of the 1,000 ones. You could probably get that for a couple grand, right? I don't know how much his 1, 2, 3s are, and then you burn all 2 through 1,000 on a flash drive, recording yourself. Burn the flash drive. Now there's only one Sam Merrill in existence.
Yeah. Well,
I charge $100 grand for that, probably.
Right. And I've seen people like Roham was doing, soliciting some feedback on Twitter about something. I think someone was saying, like, what if you were able to burn moments to like move up in a pack queue or something like that? So I think that concept of burning moments is going to be a thing. And I think Top Shot actually even has that decision about a few things from those earlier sets. Like some of those Series 1 base moments, like the James Harden and the Giannis, there's only 400, I think it's 53 out of the 1,000 that are actually in circulation. The Derrick Rose is like that. And they haven't announced, I think those they're going to release, but I think there are a couple unique situations where they've talked about just burning them.
See, that seems kind of weird because I assumed, I don't know everything about this stuff, that they can't do anything afterwards. Like that's kind of like part of the benefit. It's like they mint it and then you get it and it's yours. I know, like, while it's in their their keys, their crypto, like it's in their possession right now. But like I didn't think you can go and edit it. Like the Zion Williamson, right? They couldn't edit his hometown or whatever was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was the whole part of it.
Huddy says it's going to be an expensive bit, Brian.
It still might even be worth it. I mean, if you have the money, but like I was just using Sam Merrill as a joke. Like whoever the cheapest one is, I know there's guys who are cheaper than that, right?
Yeah. All right. Since we are running out of time here, we are going to be. I'm heading over to Ship Chasing after this with Ben Gretsch and Pat Carrain. We are going to be over on the Ship Chasing channel. I think I have a link to the show down here. We're going to be talking some NFL free agency if that's your bag and want to keep hanging tonight. Let me get the screen here. Appreciate you guys watching. I got your usernames in here. Someone put their email in here. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But let's give this a rip. So Brian, this is your person.
Okay.
That they need to
Brick 75.
Win packs.
Win
packs. There we go. I guess I didn't, there's really no reason for anyone to lie because he's only sending the gift to win packs, but I guess I didn't really think through. I should have gotten the Twitter handle as well, but win packs, please reach out to Brian.
Yeah. In my Discord or Twitter, either way.
Yeah. Who's win packs?
I'm in Pete's Discord too. You could tag me in there too. If you don't want to join mine, I don't care.
Yeah. Let's see here. Someone in the chat. Hopefully someone in the chat is win packs. Otherwise, I mean, talk about a dine and dash.
We'll do it. Well, then we'll redo it. That's
we'll give him a second.
Yeah, you can have all week.
All right. Win packs there is for Brian. And then, so I think Zach's bringing this up. I think that's a different win packs. There's a guy in our Discord who has win packs PAX, which, by the way, now that I'm doing merch salesman, I will say we got win packs mugs, we got win pack shirts, and I actually I'm going to get us some Lolz t-shirts up here soon as well.
Are those all available now?
Yeah, so I have the link down below for merch stuff. You can see me wearing my punk thing. So I have a few things, some Club Top Shot, win pack stuff, and what's the other one? Yeah, but they have lots of different stuff. You can get shirts, mugs, magnets, stickers, all that.
Cool. I'll take a look. I was thinking, don't dupe me, bro. Like mug would be fun.
We could definitely make that happen.
And then something like "Don't sue me, bro," or entertain. Not financial advice. Something along those lines would be another good one. Because you could just give a hot financial advice take and then just hold the mug up.
There you go. I love it. Not financial advice. I should definitely do that one. Dave, congratulations. Reach out to Brian on Twitter, Discord, and let him know a moment under $50 that you want, and he will purchase and send it to you in a week, which I believe is the gifting rules. Once you've purchased something. Here we go. This is mine. Santa Claus Peter. Who's going to spend the rest of my Dapper balance?
Oh, that's a close one.
Mazzone. Mazzone 11. Congratulations. Did I trademark it? No, I didn't trademark it. Actually, someone's already has a WinPack shirt on Amazon. But I didn't feel too threatened by the design. I figured I'd let the market decide. Mazzone 11. Do we have you in the chat? Hopefully you will reveal yourself shortly. But man, Brian, yeah, I can't. I know we've talking about like how time functions in coronavirus is a popular talking point. Do you feel like this year went by fast or slow for you?
I don't know. It's hard because some of that stuff feels so long ago. Yeah. But it did go by fast too. It's weird.
Yeah. I know it's weird because so much happened and I was online for so much, but I was also so busy that time I feel like went by very quickly.
Those early ones with like the chat and scrolling on the side and stuff, like I don't even remember that shit. But it wasn't that long ago. But then it would go by fast.
It would.
We did a lot of PGA stuff too. Like I forgot the MMA, 3 MMA live streams.
Yeah. It's been very fun. And I sincerely look forward to this show every week because I know we're going to have one, we don't, and maybe this isn't something to brag about, but we don't plan anything. But I always know we're going to have an interesting conversation, which is if I was worried about us not having an interesting conversation, we'd have more topics or whatever. But I just know that we're always going to be able to have something to talk about. And I definitely enjoy that.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm glad you decided to do it. I appreciate it. I think some of the earlier ones, I think you were like really pushing it, like trying to like help me out to I don't know. I was watching some of the earlier ones, trying to look up for bits, and it's like,
what was I pushing? Like your Twitter?
No. You were like getting in the camera and like doing like a whole routine and stuff. I'm like, he probably thinks I'm being super boring.
Oh, you're saying trying to get the energy level?
Yeah, the energy level up. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, where people don't realize what they want, and sometimes they're like, I just want information. I want DFS stuff. And it's like, well, that's great, but it also doesn't necessarily make the most entertaining show, like the format that you do for your videos, like your short form 15, like that's a great format for teaching. Right. But on shows, ultimately people want to be entertained. So I probably did feel the onus of like Brian's teaching, but I will dance with my miniature symbols over here.
That's right. And you became a profitable DFS player during that period too.
Yes. I mentioned this a decent amount during the NFL season, but I learned a ton from Brian after being an awful DFS player. Had my first profitable year, putting together my taxes. Now it was very fun to get a DraftKings 1099. And Brian, I sincerely thank you for helping me out, teaching me some things, and helping me think about DFS in a new way.
No problem. Glad you could win. The tax thing, I just really quickly, I know you got to go, but like,
no, we're good.
This is a good year. Speaking of not financial advice, entertainment purposes only, to probably look into getting an accountant if you guys don't have one, because of the Rescue Act and last year's PPP and stuff like that, and all the giveaways. Man, I was like looking at it briefly. There's just a ton of stuff in there. So like, it'd be tough to dig through all that your own. So
yeah, for sure.
And Pete did a video with a CPA like a couple weeks ago too. Yeah. So check that out.
There's some good stuff in there from Pete, and he also has his own course where he gets into it. But basically, one of the big ones is just if you're going to file your winnings as gambling, miscellaneous winnings, or if you're going to file it as Schedule C as part of playing regularly for profit. And it seems like there's just a slight bit of gray area in the interpretation there. So I would definitely watch that and check out his course. If you have anything over 10,000 in winnings, I think making sure you're filing the best way, it's definitely worth the investment. Like Brian said, to seek out real financial advice and not just buy a Nikola Jokic Cosmic and let it go to the moon.
Yes, and that was before this act was signed into law too. So there's just a ton of stuff in there. Whenever I hear someone talk about it, yeah.
Zach, you're killing me. Are we closing out with the compilation of war crime references? I was on the hunt today. Brian and I were both trying to see if we could dig up one of those references. We couldn't remember the specific episodes. I told Brian, didn't I tell you that was the one clip I was hoping to round this out with?
Yes, I didn't look purposely, honestly. I'm like, I don't. He's gonna want to do like the slave one or something and try to get me canceled.
No, it was going to be in good taste. It was going to be a good taste.
Yeah, okay. And hey, what does Biden do? 3 months in office, bombs fucking Syria. Don't get me started, guys.
Here we go. He's gone. No, we have to wrap this up. But
Shane in my chat says, I can't believe you guys made it a year on this show.
It's pretty impressive, honestly.
It is impressive. That kind of sounds insulting. I can't believe you guys made it a year on this shitty show of yours.
Yeah.
Give it up already.
Hey, you know what? What do they say? Half the battle, 90% of the battle is just showing up. And that's what we do, Brian, except when I'm on vacation. Speaking of which, Brian did put up a video last week. It was about, I haven't got a chance to watch it. It was bankroll management, right?
Yeah, bankroll management. Because like this year, they're doing tons of top heavy GPPs. So I think that changes the strategy for some people. So yeah, if you guys play DFS, check it out.
Yeah, check that out over on Brian's channel. People enjoyed it. If you want to see Brian away from me with my symbols, making a lot of hoopla, that's a good place to do it. As always, we have the audio version of this podcast too, if you want to listen back to things. And we will continue to truck on. Believe it or not, Brian and I have not talked about the vision for the show. We're just going to keep showing up each Wednesday, talking DFS, gambling, top shots, investing and not investing, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. We will see you next Wednesday, as always.